I have now loaded Contact as a plugin inside of this DAW. This is Ableton Live. And now I'm going to load in an instrument from the library here. Let's load in one of these bass sounds. I'm going to go for this pop bass sound. All right, let's have a listen to it. All right, let's also add a piano from this Alicia Keys collection. Load that in. And as you may already know at this point, as I'm playing on my MIDI keyboard, we're still just hearing the bass and not the second instrument, because if we switch over to the Info tab, we can see that this is set to receive on MIDI channel 2. Now I'm not going to change this to MIDI channel 1. What I'm going to do is, in the DAW, in Ableton Live here, I have another MIDI track. I'm going to arm it, and I'm going to set its output to the track that has Contact. So that's the first one here. And in the second dropdown, I'm going to choose from any of these 16 MIDI channels to send the MIDI data to Contact. I want to send to MIDI channel 2, so I'll choose 2 over here. So now when I play on this track, I'm now playing the piano. And if you switch back to the first track, we're playing the bass. So that's pretty convenient. So you can load multiple instruments in one instance of Contact like this. All right, I'm going to load in one more. Let's hide the performance view here. Scroll down. Maybe we can pick something that's a bit different. How about some of these West African instruments? Let's pick a djembe here. All right, so this is defaulting to MIDI channel 3. I have a third MIDI track here. I'll arm it, set it to send to that same Contact track, and I'm going to choose MIDI channel number 3 here. And now you can hear we're triggering that instrument. Let's hide the performance view for this as well. All right, now let's talk about these Aux Sends. So if I open up the Aux Send view, let's say for Alicia's keys, we can see here we have Aux 1, Aux 2, Aux 3, and Aux 4, and I can choose to send some of the signal to this Aux track. And if we activate or visualize the output section, we can see the 4 different Aux return tracks here. Let me switch back to the piano. So the piano is going out the main output, the stereo output 1, but simultaneously it's also going to Aux 1. You can see here Aux 1. Now nothing's happening on Aux 1. We can add an effect over here. So if I click over here, we have access to all these different effects from Contact. Let's load in a reverb. I like the convolution reverb. Let's load in a preset. I'm going to select Big Room and Spacious 960. Now we're not hearing any reverb yet, because this Aux 1 track is going to output 11, 12 on the plugin. You can see here it says plugin output 11 and 12. And currently in my DAW, I'm just monitoring input 1 and 2 from the plugin. All right, I have another empty audio track here. I'm going to set its input to that Contact instrument. And in the second dropdown, look at this. I have access to all the different outputs from Contact. So let's select 11, 12. I'm going to set this to input monitor so we can hear it. And now you can hear the reverb. So on this track here, we're getting the dry piano. And then through Aux 1, on this track here, we're getting the reverb. Well, we want to make sure that there's no dry signal and just the wet signal on the Aux track. So that'll take care of it, bringing the dry level down here. Now we can also choose to add effects directly on an output. So let's say I want to keep stereo 1 as a piano, and on stereo 2, I want to route the bass. So I'm going to click over here on the output, and let's choose stereo 2 for this. All right, and let's just go ahead and add an effect over here. This is new in the latest version of Contact. We have a ring modulator. I've loaded the ring modulator, and if I click on it, these are the different controls for it. We also get a bunch of presets. Let's try metallic. Now, we're not monitoring output 3, 4, so I'm going to create another audio track. I'm going to set its input to Contact, and I'm going to choose 3, 4, set it to input monitor. Now, this is happening on the first channel, so I'm going to arm this track here so I can play the bass. That sounds very cool. So that's the ring modulated effect. If I bypass this, that's the clean sound. And unbypass. Pretty cool. All right, I'm going to set up a second aux track here for the djembe. So click on aux here. Let's send on aux 2. And on aux 2, let's add a delay. I'm going to go into the delay category. And we have the cyc delay. This is also new in this version of Contact. I like that it has a reverse option. And we can also make it stereo. Let's make sure there's no dry signal. And this is going to 13 and 14, so we need to create another audio track here. I'm going to set its input to Contact and specifically channel 13 and 14. Input monitor. And let's go ahead and arm the correct track. So that was the bass. The second one here is the piano. And the third one here will be the djembe. Pretty cool. So that's basically how we can make use of the aux sends and returns in Contact.